Hello, Wisconsin DOT has finalized some system enhancements to our oversized overweight permit system. This video will give a general overview of the permit system, which will include entering vehicle information, picking a route, reviewing restrictions, and generating a permit. We will also introduce you to the enhancements which streamline the selection of load origin and destinations, as well as providing easy location of structures which require loads to reduce speeds while crossing. Your hosts for today are myself, Bill Wondercheck, a freight engineer in the WSDOT Freight Operations Unit,
and Ed Lawler, program specialist for the oversized unit.
So let's get started. In order to apply online for an OSOW permit, you need to go to the WSDOT website. There's a shortcut for you that you can go to dot.wi.gov/OSOW permits, and you'll get to this screen. You click the Apply Online button and scroll down to log in. Also on that screen, if you don't have a WAMS ID, you can sign up to get one. So we're going to get logged in here today. So we're going to start here by entering your carrier ID or permit system ID. If you don't know your ID, you can contact the permit office at 608-266-7320. In this example, we're using a test customer number of 1. This customer is not available to all the other customers. So now what we have here is our action selection screen. On this screen, you can see where you can complete many online applications, including the option to review a multi-trip permit for restrictions prior to travel. For this example, we're going to apply for a new single-trip permit. Listed here are a multitude of commodity-based permits offered by WSDOT. For more information on this, please visit the link on the screen. You will also note that a credit card is required to pay for these permits during online issuance. For this example, we will be issuing a single-trip SS permit, which is used for a single-trip vehicle or load. So this is the application entry screen. We're going to fill in all the options. A couple of things to note for you as we're filling them in. Permits are only valid for 5 days and can be requested for no more than 5 days in advance. Expiration date is auto-populated based on the start date and number of dates of requested validity. You can, however, request the permit to be valid for less than 5 days to avoid a restriction on the highway system. If you have a desired move date further than 5 days out, you can submit the permit within the dates limited by the application and then make a note which will send this permit to staff for manual review. While routes can be pre-checked, in general we do not issue permits earlier than 5 days in advance of a move due to ensure proper lane restriction information is in the system due to construction and maintenance. In this example, make sure at the top your contact name, info, phone number, and email are correct. It is recommended to email permit to the email address and receive a PDF after the permit is issued, so select that option there. And we can also display the permit in the browser, which will allow the permit to be printed immediately for self-issues. In section B, we have insurance. In this section, we'd like you to choose the amount of insurance you carry on the truck being used in this move. Don't choose based on the dimensions of your load and what is needed based on the trans rule. The system will double check to ensure the insurance coverage selected is adequate for the load size entered. In section C, we have a description of the load. In this example, we're hauling a steel beam. To the right of that, you'll see the radioactive button. So if you have radioactive, you should check this button, and there are additional restrictions that may apply. Are you hauling more than one item? Since these permits are for non-divisible loads, depending on what you are hauling and how it is overdimensional may affect your ability for a permit. For example, if you are carrying 2 3-foot diameter tanks with an overall loaded width of 7 foot and are 100 foot long and the overall GVW and axle weights do not exceed weight standards, it will be acceptable to carry these multiple items. Now we get to the vehicle section. Choose or enter your vehicle information. If your company has gotten permits from us in the past, your unit numbers, license, and VIN information is likely stored in our system. If not, you will need to enter it. We will use a truck from our test library. This is our unit AAA. When you enter this or choose a vehicle from your library, verify that all the information is complete and accurate for the power unit. All fields except the unit number are required. We will now select a towed vehicle or trailer from our test library. This is unit AAB. After selecting the trailer, verify that all fields are complete and accurate. A trailer requires state and plate or VIN, but not both. This load has 6 axles. We will enter the weight and spacing below. In section E is about size. For length, we will enter the length of the power unit itself. We will use 22 feet in this example. Enter the length of the trailer, typically 48 or 53 feet for standard semis, but can vary for specialized applications. In this case, we're using a trailer which is 60 feet long. Load is the actual length of the load on the trailer. This may be shorter or longer than the trailer length. In this example, we use 68 feet, which is longer than the trailer. Front overhang is typically 0. If there is one, enter it here. Overall length is from the front of the power unit to the back of the load. In this case, with a 22-foot long power unit and a 68-foot load length, the overall length is 90 feet. Next is the width section. Overall width of the load or trailer, whichever is greater. We will use 10 foot in this example. Height. In this section, we enter the maximum height of the load. 13 foot 6 inches the legal load height. In this example, we'll use 14 foot. Then there's the weight section. If the load is the legal weight, which means it's less than 80,000 pounds GVW and meets all the state's axle weight restrictions, check this box. If not, enter an overall weight in pounds here. For this load, we'll use 170,000 pounds. In the next section, we have to enter our axle weight spacing. This is important for our bridge section to analyze the load. In this case, we have 6 axles on a combination truck, so we need to enter 6 axles of weight and spacing. For this truck, we have 2 tires on the steer axle and 4 tires on each of the remaining axles. For this 170,000 pound load, we enter the axle weights, which break down to 20,000 pounds on the steer axle and 30,000 pounds on each of the other axles. The totals between the weight listed in section E and the combined axle weights must equal each other. In this case, we use the axle spacing of 15 foot between the front and the drive tires, 5 foot between the next tire and the tandem, 50 foot on the trailer, and then 5 foot and 5 foot between the tridem and the back. And now you can scroll down and view your vehicle. Hopefully this looks fairly similar to what your vehicle looks like. If not, review the information up above. Section G, trip. For regular users of our system, everything we've showed you thus far looks very familiar. In this section, we've updated the trip section to include drop-down menus for the trip origins and destinations. This was to standardize the way beginning and endings are entered. We originally started this effort to increase the efficiency of data mining that we're doing to make long-term freight investment decisions. But we also feel this will help the customers out by getting them to the correct location on the maps for route entry. Starting with origin, you have to either select one of the states, but if you're starting in Wisconsin, you will select Wisconsin. If you're starting in Wisconsin, you need to choose the city or village you are starting in. You can choose it in the drop-down box, or like a typical drop-down. If you begin typing the name, you should be able to find it. If you can't find your origin on the list, please choose the geographically closest option. For this example, we'll choose Arlington and enter 123 County Highway I as the address. The box to the right is additional information. This is not required. It will show up on the permit but does not affect your starting point on the routing map. This is a good place to put your street location. Next is the destination. It's same as the origin. For this example, we'll choose the Illinois border. And finally, the last button on this screen is the return trip. Choose this box if this is the exact same route in reverse. The last box on the screen is the additional information box. This is where we can enter other special information. For example, as we talked about earlier, if you need to begin evaluating the route earlier than 5 days in advance, a large load, etc., if there's any information in this box, the permit will not be eligible for auto issuance and will refer to the permit unit for review. Click the certification box and click Submit for routing. This will take us to our map entry screen. This page will pull up a map with both the origin and destinations are highlighted. Since we chose a state border, it will ask you to verify on what highway we are leaving the state, so the map can properly place us. As you select each location, it will show up on the map to make sure you're choosing the correct starting place. In this case, we're choosing I-39 at the state border of Illinois. Select that and press OK. Now you can see the green circle which represents our origin and the red circle which represents our destination. Now we'll go through the 3 different ways that you can choose your route in the WSDOT permit system. On this screen, we have 3 options for choosing routes. You can pick your route on a map-based method, you can enter your route using text description, or you can allow the system to choose the best route for you. This will find the shortest route, but it still may not be the most ideal route.